Hello everyone, this is Helios Raven. I tell you how to do it, even if you don't care. And we're wrapping up our in-depth look into the forces of Eldar with the Yaden's Raiders. Now, what the Yaden's Raiders did was Yriels Raiders. What Yriels Raiders did was it introduced one new ship, which was the Flame of Azarian, Yriels' flagship. This was his personal flagship that he used when he went into space battles to defending the craft world. And it was a pretty decent cruiser. It had 8 hit points, speed 10, 20, 25, special turns, hull of fields, and armor 5, so you could be a little bit more daring with this ship. It still suffered a 4+ critical, which isn't a good thing. And it had POW weapon battery, 30 centimeters, 16 power front arc, which is really awesome. You know, that's a really powerful dice roll, and it could do a lot of damage. The only problem that I have with it is the fact that it's not really meant for close combat fighting unless you're really good at getting the ship in there and out in time before the other vessel can take shots at you. So I'm not a big fan of lots of weapon batteries, but it's still really nice and can do a lot, and I mean a lot of damage on the broadside when it really gets in there and does its thing, which is really awesome. It also has a keel launch bay with Nightwing fighters and Phoenix bombers. The Phoenix bombers move at 20 centimeters. The Nightwing fighters move at 30 centimeters. The Nightwing fighters are just your plain fighters, and your Phoenix bombers are treated just like plain bombers. As it mentioned in the Eldar pirate rules in the Gothic rulebook. Now this part's a little confusing. It says fire strength 4/4. I'm not sure if they're saying you can only have 4 squadrons, that's it, or you can have up to 4 fighters and 4 bombers at the same time. It's really confusing on that front, so I can't really say for sure what they're saying because I'm a little confused about what they're saying myself. I would probably assume what they're saying is you can have either 4 of one or 4 of the other, or a mixture of the two type of thing is probably what it's saying. But again, I could be wrong on that because I don't really play Craft World Eldar. I play Pirate Eldar. It also has a port lance with 30 centimeter range, fires in its front arc, strength 1, and a starboard lance, 30 centimeter range, strength 1 in the front arc. And the Flame of Azarian, it counts as having aspect warrior fighting crews. Now, all in all, the ship is pretty decent. It's not my cup of tea, but if you get into close combat and out in time, it can be a really nasty force to be reckoned with because it's got 16 weapon batteries, which is really awesome. And it does have pulsar lasers, so since there's 2 of them, that's a max of 6 shots you can hit. And it's got fighters and bombers, which is also really nice and very hard to find with Eldar vessels themselves. And so, all in all, if you have a craft world fleet and you have the points, it's definitely pick it up. But if you want to be more of, bigger force type of thing and have a lot more versatility and versatileness and variety and options to go with, you probably don't want to go with the flagship because it's just, it's going to limit you because it takes up so many points. And now what it also added is basically what they want to confirm, because they were very unclear when they introduced the Doom of the Eldar, the fact that you cannot use the reserve rules to pick up ships from the pirate fleet, nor could you use the reserve rules to have the pirate fleet pick up craft world ships. The only way you can mix both ship brands together is you have to first choose one of the particular fleet lists, either the fleet list for the pirate crews in the Battlefleet Gothic rulebook, or the Iaden craft fleet rules used in the Doom of the Eldar. Once you've selected that, you remove your Admiral or your Pirate Prince commander selection and give them the Eldar Hero, which is a Leadership 10 model which can purchase up to 3 rerolls. So it's got the drawback of the Admiral, where it gives you take away its leadership for its leadership, which is not too bad, but you get the Pirate Prince's ability to get more than 1 reroll. And then with that, you get to use the other fleets list as reserve rolls. So if you decide that it's a Craft World fleet list, you'd get to pick then Eldar. You'd get to pick pirate ships as reserve vessels. if you decide that you're going to be a pirate ship vessel, you can then use Craft World ships as reserves because you have the Eldar pirate hero. And that was basically it for the Eldar. All in all, I kind of like the pirate fleet a little bit more than the Craft World, though I think the Craft World is a much better starter army. You got a little bit more variety where you can build up different kinds of ships. Granted, you can only make 2 types of each, but still, both are very nice, well versatile. They're a little bit more harder to hit, so that you could be a little bit more daring with the Craft World. Whereas with the pirate fleet, you have to be more reserved and careful about how you operate and make sure that because if your timing is off, then the ships can be really destroyed very easily. The benefit that the pirate fleet has over the Craft World is the pirate fleet all have pulsar lances, which are those max of 3-shot lances, whereas the escorts in the Eldar Craft World only have plain lances. And the other benefit that the Eldar group has is they can get Craft World, they can get Aspect Warriors, they can get a couple more fleet commanders for more rerolls, and they can have ghost ships, which are they're a pain, but they're also really nice, and they can, if used right, can be very useful in strategies, especially since they can only get critted on 6s. They have armor 5, and they don't affect your failed command check limit for the rest of the game, so which is pretty neat. And so all in all, the Eldar, like if you're going to pick them and you're brand new, I would probably suggest go with a Craft World army. If you just want something really unique, different, and a lot more challenging to combat against, then definitely take either the Pirates or the Craft World Eldar. All in all, they're my favorite army in the game. That's why I play them most of the time. And like I said, their ship designs are really cool. Their rules are really awesome. And since they have really cheesy rules, they're really cheesy, cheaty Eldar, which is what makes them so awesome in my opinion. And that is it for now, and tune in next week when we'll look at the Orks. And so, until next time, this is Helios Raven, signing off. Signing